Today I'm going to be looking at this book. It's called Ocean, Revealing the Secrets of the Deep. And I always love books that look at things under the sea. I've just got this fascination with it. I'll be using this pointer to trace some things as well. Got this big wave on the top. It swoops round. And then we've got this jellyfish, clownfish, a reef, and a ray of some sort. So let's get into it. Much is already understood about the oceans, from the reason for their characteristic hue to the role they play in climatic phenomena such as tornadoes, tsunamis, and El Niño. But they are also the last great wilderness on Earth. Light penetrates only to a depth of around 600 feet. Below lies a dark world of extraordinary topography and remarkable creatures. There are mountain ranges that dwarf the Andes, and trenches so deep that if Mount Everest were deposited there, it would still find itself covered by over a mile of seawater. I'm not sure what that was. The coelacanth, thought to be extinct before 1938, can claim the title of the ocean's dinosaur, since fossil records show it to be at least 400 million years old. And textbooks had to be written when the megamouth shark was first sighted in 1976. What other as yet undiscovered species inhabit the depths? Ocean examines every facet of this remarkable environment, from plate tectonics to the effects of the moon, phytoplankton to blue whales. It traces man's efforts to probe the deep in aid of scientific discovery. It also covers his less worthy activities regarding the environment, the ramifications of which remain uncertain. Fish spiraling around. Ocean dynamics. Topography of the ocean floor, showing the continental shelves, ocean basins, ridges and trenches. So you can see they're like mountain ranges under the sea. Trenches, basins. Continental drift. 225 million years ago. 130 million years ago. 80 million years ago. Present day. Pangaea was a supercontinent that included all the land masses of the world before the Triassic period, when it split into, I'm sure that's supposed to say split into Laurasia and Gondwana. This movement is known as continental drift. The continents are still moving today. Changing sea levels. During the peak of the last ice age, about 18,000 years ago, sea levels were more than 120 metres lower than they are today. During this time, for example, what is now the Bering Strait between Alaska and Asia was dry land, and it is believed that humans migrated across this connection to North America. Here's some of the big ice pieces moving because of global warming. Some seals here. Coastal landscapes. The coastlines of the world are shaped by the waves and the weather, and produce a wide variety of environments for marine, air and land animals to live and breed. Sandy beaches and mudflats, rocky cliffs, river estuaries and salt marshes all attract different species of flora and fauna. This tree. That almost looks like a person. And we've got all the big roots at the bottom. Penguins. Polar ice. In the depths of winter in the Arctic Ocean, sea ice covers about 14 million square kilometres. This reduces to about 7 million square kilometres during the summer months, so roughly half of the ice will remain permanently frozen. This is known as polar ice or multi-year ice, and is generally about 8 metres thick, although the effects of global warming on the climate could mean that this permanent layer will begin to melt. The sea ice or pack ice that comes and goes each year around the pole is not static, but moves with the transpolar drift in a southwesterly direction around the Arctic Circle, ending up where it began, with some breaking up and drifting down into lower latitudes. Wow, that's so pretty. The school of fish. Cold water upwelling from the depths along the coast of South America normally makes for good fishing conditions, since it contains nutrients that attract large colonies of anchovy and other types of fish. So these are anchovy. Wow, look at this. Nature. The gravitational pull of the moon on the Earth is twice that of the sun because, although the moon is much smaller, it is 400 times closer to the Earth. That looks cool. That looks like Dracula would come sailing in or something. The result of a tsunami. sea squirts, which belong to the subphylum Orocodae, as well as the seemingly fish-like lancelets of the subphylum Cephalochoridae. Oh my goodness, why did I choose to read that bit? Plankton. This is what a lot of fish feed on. Look how weird that looks. It looks like pieces of glass. Like big shards of glass. It's a hammerhead shark. Hello. Sharks are highly efficient predators capable of great speed and maneuverability in order to maximize their potential for securing a meal. Wow, these are all so pretty. Look at this octopus. Many fish possess a swim bladder which provides them with neutral buoyancy, allowing them to remain afloat effortlessly. Echinoderms, I'm not sure, such as these starfish, move over the seafloor using tiny tube feet. That sounds so cute. Above the tide line. Look at how beautiful that is. Wow. Look at that. That's so pretty. You've got like mountains and the sky and then the forest and the beach, the sea, and the trees. It's so pretty. What is it? Crocodile with a bird. Oh no, poor bird. Land crabs on Clipperton Island in the Pacific. Long adapted to the terrestrial environment, these must still return to the sea to spawn, and some do so in their millions, providing a dramatic spectacle for the human observer and a welcome meal for numerous hungry predators. Look at all of them. He spotted the camera. Sea turtles. Modern sea turtles are thought to have evolved about 120 million years ago and are highly adapted to a marine existence with their relatively light, streamlined shells and limbs, which are modified into large flippers for swimming. Some are even able to supplement their oxygen supply, which is normally obtained by breathing air at the water's surface through the lining of the pharynx, which operates as a gill. And although some turtles will occasionally haul out on the beaches of remote islands, most spend almost their entire lives in the sea. However, turtles reproduce by laying leathery eggs, which require incubation, and the females of all species must come ashore in order to bury their eggs in the sand. Adult turtles do not care for their young, leaving the eggs to incubate and hatch alone. Hatching occurs after about 2 months, although in higher temperatures the incubation period may be shorter. Temperature also has a bearing on the gender of the hatchlings, with more females being produced in warmer temperatures. Look how pretty they are, so sweet. Oh, he looks hungry. Coconut crab. Sea lion. Look how sweet. northern gannet, nesting on Base Rock, Scotland. Oh, so these are in Scotland. Look at all these. Estuaries, salt marshes and mud flats. That one trying to get away all alone. Salt Marsh. This is in West Sussex. Mud flats. I like the look of him. The willet is a large sandpiper which feeds on worms and crustaceans. I like its legs and its beak. Oh my lord, that's horrendous. I can't be doing with anything with far too many legs like that. In addition to worms and mollusks, crustaceans are also common on mud flats. These range from fairly large species such as the edible crab. Somebody named it the edible crab, that's horrible. Blue crab and the common prawn. To various shrimps such as the pink shrimp and tiny amphipods such as Gamarus juveni, Gamarus tigrinus, Gamarus salinus, and Corophium volutator. Yeah, that's not how you pronounce any of that. Which are commonly known as mud shrimps. Oh, we'll just call them mud shrimps. Despite the small size of these animals, they can occur in incredibly high densities, and so whilst at low tide, they may be the main food source for numerous species of probing waders, particularly sandpipers and plovers. At high tide, they sustain a wide variety of fish. What is that? An errant polychaete worm traverses the muddy seafloor at high tide, whilst mollusks extend their siphons to trap food particles. No, thank you. Ooh, look at this bird. Birds of prey such as the osprey are often attracted to estuaries by the large number of fish. Oh, it's got a fish here. Well done. Oh, I like his smile. He's very handsome. It's an eel. I think these are rainbow trout. Oh no, salmon. Sandy shores. Sandy shores. Shoo. That's horrendous as well. Oh, this is pretty, look at that. The peacock worm is a suspension feeder. Suspension feeding. Some polychaete worms, such as that, live in membranous sand-coated tubes, from which a crown of tentacles extends with which to collect the sea potato, and this is a sea cucumber, and these are all starfish. Larger crustaceans. This is a mole crab, and this is the masked crab. The southern stingray feeds on mollusks, crustaceans, worms, and small fish on the sandy bottom. Look how camouflaged this fish is. The greater weaver lies partially buried in the sand in wait for its prey. It possesses venomous spines on its back, which can make it potentially dangerous to unwary bathers. Snake starfish congregating on sand in New Zealand. Oh, look at their wiggly legs. Hello. Rocky shores. Oh, that looks dangerous. You wouldn't want to swim in there. Got seaweed and starfish. It is a combination of physical and biological factors that affects zonation and accounts for the distinct bands of organisms that are a common feature of the rocky shore habitat. However, it should also be noted that these bands, whilst often generally well defined, are not fixed. There may be variations within and between zones according to intermittent physical and biological disturbances, population fluctuations, and seasonal changes. Oh, look. So cute. Seaweeds. These absolutely freak me out. Barnacles and things, I can't. Awful. Let's turn over. Oh, look at him. The marine iguana. The marine iguana, which inhabits the rocky shores of the Galapagos Islands, is unique in being the only marine lizard in the world. Although it spends much of its time on the shore and never swims far out to sea, its diet is entirely composed of a type of algae that grows on subtidal rocks. It never ventures far inland, but must spend several hours basking in the sun in order to raise its body temperature sufficiently before it can brave the cold and pounding surf. The marine iguana is well adapted to this existence, being black in colour to absorb the heat, possessing long, powerful claws with which to cling to the rocks whilst feeding, a long, narrow tail used to propel itself when swimming, and specialised nasal glands and tear ducts which are designed to cope with saltwater exposure. However, typically only the largest males can withstand the cold for any length of time, and are able to remain submerged for up to about 10 minutes, allowing them to exploit the abundance of algae that occurs in the deeper water. Rock pools. I remember as a kid going to the beach and wanting to look in all the rock pools to see the starfish and fish and things. he so angry about? A shy albatross. He doesn't look very shy. High on a rocky crag overlooking the sea in New Zealand. He looks like that Muppet. Is his name Sam? The Shallows. Isn't that a film? Seagrass meadows. Wow, that's pretty. Sea urchins. There are herbivorous, omnivorous, and carnivorous urchins to be found in seagrass meadows. Both the variegated sea urchin and the long-spined black sea urchin are predominantly herbivore species, which feed on algae and seagrass, and in some areas the destruction of large areas of seagrass has been attributed to them. Look at this. The Leafy Sea Dragon is excellently camouflaged by its frond-like fins. This male is carrying eggs beneath its tail. Ew, that's creepy, but he's very pretty. Kelp forests. The understory. Beneath the uppermost canopy, amongst the lower fronds and stipes, younger, smaller kelp plants, which are restricted in their growth by a lack of light and dense growths of red algae, such as the red sea oak, sea beech, and dulse, which often grow as epiphytes on the stipes of kelp, form a distinct understory. Bryozoans are present here too, as are other simple animals such as sponges, sea squirts, and hydrozoans that use the stipes as sites of attachment. Wow. This is the California sea lion, the grey whale, and the cuttlefish. It's a sea otter. Otters are one of my favourite animals. They're so cute. So cute. Look how cute. And they're so clever as well. The spiny dogfish lurks amongst the large kelp fronds. I like his face. The dugong. Sweet. The dugong and manatees are similar in appearance, being large, grey-brown, almost hairless animals, with flipper-like forelimbs and massive walrus-like heads. Unlike walruses, however, sirenians lack hind limbs and instead possess either a notched, fish-like tail, as in the dugong, or a rounded, unnotched paddle, as in the manatees. The manatees also differ from the dugong in lacking incisors, and with the exception of the Amazonian manatee in possessing nails on their front flippers. Both, however, are regarded as sub-ungulates and are thought to share a common ancestry with the hoofed mammals. Perhaps somewhat surprisingly, however, their closest living relatives are thought to include elephants and hyraxes. Sea cow. Oh, sweet. Mangroves. Mangroves. Look at that lush jungle. And these roots going into the water. Oh, like that. Crocodile. Brown pelican. Come back to feed the little chicks. Nurse shark with a school of juvenile jacks. Look at this beautiful snake. They look happy to be alive. A mangrove viper prepares to strike. Look how happy he is about it. This crab. Feather duster worms. Mudskippers. Perhaps the most unusual and striking of mangrove fish are the mudskippers. These fish are closely related to gobies and somewhat resemble them with their bulbous eyes and modified pectoral fins, which allow them to traverse the mud as if walking. Perhaps most remarkable of all are species such as the gold-spotted mudskipper, which not only crawl across the mud with their modified fins, but actually use them to haul themselves up the roots and trunks of trees. Mudskippers are able to breathe out of water by retaining water in their gill cavities and refreshing it as necessary. It is also thought that, like amphibians, some species are able to absorb oxygen through their skin. Oh, look at this. Scarlet ibis. Gorgeous colour. Proboscis monkey. And a chimpanzee. They look lost. The frozen polar coasts. Oh my goodness. A juvenile harp seal swims beneath the Arctic ice. Narwhal, like a unicorn from the sea. Beluga whales, they have really cute faces. Look at all of them. Wow, there's so many. A bearded seal. Hello. Walrus, polar bears. Polar bears are powerful swimmers and are able to close their nostrils in order to remain submerged for up to 2 minutes. With their extreme bulk, they are no match for a streamlined seal, beluga, or walrus in the water. They tend to stalk their prey across land and ice, or otherwise surprise it at the water's edge or at breathing holes in the ice. Krill. Oh, these seals. Look at this one. They're fighting. Elephant seals. Look at that one. Wow. Antarctic fur seal. Oh my lord, that looks like a demon. Killer whale. The leopard seal. Sei whale. The blue whale. The blue whale is one of 6 species of baleen whale that come to Antarctic waters in summer to feed on krill, which they filter from the water through plates of keratin suspended from their upper jaw. As an adult, the blue whale can reach a length of 30 meters and weigh up to 150 tons, making it the largest mammal on Earth. The other baleen whales found in the Antarctic are the fin whale, mink, sei whale, southern right whale, and the humpback whale. Wow, look at all these penguins. Adult king penguins. These bits are pretty though. The Garden of the Sea. Look at all the different types of life. Oh, this big predator. That looks magical. You can imagine Ariel swimming past. Clownfish. Look at that, it's like a maze. Like a wiggly maze. Wow. Look at this seahorse. Clownfish tend to live among sea anemones, which it uses for protection and shelter. In return, the clownfish will feed the anemone, increase the oxygen supply, and remove waste material. How pretty the colours are. Wow, it's like an alien world. Look at these spirals. Crinoids are also known as feather stars or sea lilies. Most are free swimming and have a mouth on the top that is surrounded by feeding arms. Angelfish. Oh, that's beautiful. Look at that. Such pretty colors. Wow. Elegant queen angelfish. Parrotfish. Coral grouper is both territorial and solitary, feeding mainly on other fish. Wow, look at these snakes. The banded sea crate with its paddle-like tail. Wow. The open ocean. Ocean. Wow, a whale. Octopus. The octopus is a shellless mollusk belonging to the group known as cephalopods and can be found in many ocean habitats, but more commonly among the reefs. Characterized by 8 suction-bearing tentacles which emerge from its head, it can range in size from as little as 5 centimeters to 9 meters. The octopus has highly developed eyes and is extremely intelligent. These attributes, together with its superior color-changing camouflage techniques, make it a superbly efficient predator. Cool jellyfish. Wow. A root-mouthed jellyfish. Look at that. Wow. Look at this. Flying fish. The Portuguese man-of-war. Not a true jellyfish, so named because of its visual similarity above the water to the sails of 15th century Portuguese caravels. The Portuguese man-of-war is a close relative of the jellyfish. It belongs to the order of Siphonophores and can be found in the surface waters of both temperate and tropical seas, often in groups of up to several thousand. winch or sail. The back measures up to 30 centimeters in length. Beneath the float, a mass of tentacles extends for up to 15 meters into the water, coated in millions of highly poisonous nematocids. They are capable of capturing and paralyzing fish as large as mackerel. Sharks. I think sharks are so cute. Look at its little face. Despite its imposing size, the whale shark is a harmless planktivore. Oh my lord, who is this? Wow, look at its mouth. Nom, 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 nom. Whales. Dolphins. Dolphins are so clever. Look how sweet. Look how pretty they are. Dolphins that chase shoaling fish in the open ocean are able to support much bigger pods because the supply is plentiful and fish are highly nutritious. As such, the herds of common, spotted and spinner dolphins are huge. Seal. They're all running away. Rays. Rays usually have cute faces underneath. Look at these birds diving for the fish. Shoom, 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 shoom. The abyss. The deep ocean. Lots of things look like they're lighting up under the sea and the deep ocean. It's so pretty. There, look, like these. Wow, bioluminescent light from within their bodies. Look at that. Oh, he looks angry. A predatory viper fish. Good lord. Wow, look at them teeth. Shoo. Look how ugly this is. Why does it have a tiny little mouth? Many whales feed on plankton at the sunlit surface, but others, such as the sperm whale, will dive to great depths in order to feed on squid and other animals. The dark zone. Perpetual darkness. This is where there's no light gets to this part of the sea at all. Vampire squid. That's cool. Oh, that looks like there's like a ghost sitting on its back. Look at that. certainly do it.